Alright, I'm reviewing the Naiyafly monocular telescope. It is 12x by 50 HD. It has Bach 4 prism inside of it. So let's take a look at this guy. I was sent this to review for free by the Amazon Vine program. It is marked at $50 on Amazon, but currently there's a coupon on Amazon for $10 off. So this is a $40 item that I'm reviewing here. So the box contains a very nice little case with a handle on it, branded on the front. So with all the accessories in the carrying case, it's 2 pounds, 4.2 ounces, or 1,026 grams. And inside we have the actual monocular telescope itself. It has end caps, dust caps on both sides. This guy has a little loop. It looks like it's supposed to be hooked to this guy here to retain it. And that guy is just looped around, so that's removable if you don't like that. So the weight of the monocular by itself is 13.4 ounces, or 379 grams. It also comes with a cell phone adapter, it looks like, that you can put over the end. So it looks like you can stick that over there. If your cell phone fits in this thing, you can move it up and down, and so forth. Okay, that's nice. So it has variable eye relief here. So if you're wearing glasses, you can leave that down in the kind of the stowed travel position. Or if you're not wearing glasses, you can move this up, and they have, it looks like, 2 different levels. So you can go 2 different levels. It has on the bottom a port. So this is your standard tripod port, but it also comes with a little adapter that you could put some type of a string or lanyard through that comes in there. And it comes with a tripod. So, you know, this tripod here, there's your $10 extra right there. You know, it's plastic construction, but it feels pretty solid. It has extendable legs, and it has the little notches in here so that right now this tripod sits like that, but if you rotate it to the next set of notches, it limits it to being like this. So you can kind of choose an angle. You know, do you want a high up tripod angle, or do you want more stability by rotating in the other direction, and then it goes down a lot lower. It looks like it has a ball mount here, so it has, you know, a standard ball that goes around with a slot, it goes all the way this way. And when you tighten this thing down here, it stops moving. So that would allow you to place this and leave it in a fixed position. Looks like it also comes with a little hand strap that you are supposed to attach to these guys here. A microfiber cleaning cloth, always a nice touch. And there is something in here. This is like a wrist strap. I'm assuming this wrist strap goes through this little guy here. And then there's instructions for the tripod and instructions for the monocular itself. So let's take a look through this guy. Alright, these are marketed as 12 by 50, and this lens here is definitely a 50 millimeter lens. So the exit pupil is quite large. I'd measure it about 5 millimeters. So, you know, if you're looking at 50 divided by 5, that would suggest a 10x magnification as opposed to a 12x magnification, but that's pretty close. Okay, it takes a little fiddling to get the eyepiece of your cell phone right in line with this sucker, but you can see here that it does line up and hold that thing pretty well. And you know, it magnifies the view across the lake. I have it set to a timer here so that my finger won't be jiggling it when I take the picture. And you can certainly use this with the cell phone to take pictures or videos that's magnified. Also have an example of the tripod here in use. So they include this wrist strap, which works pretty well. They also, you have to unscrew this if you want to use it on the tripod though, so it's, you know, tripod or wrist strap. They also have this little hand strap, which, you know, is designed to kind of hold it to your hand, but it's basically useless because this little plastic bracket is so big compared to the width of the nylon here that it just pops off. And I tried several different ways. There's no instructions on how to use this, but I've tried several different ways, and the standard way to thread this through this bracket, it just does not grip enough to really hold it. So you just pull that and it just pops off. And so I wouldn't trust that to hold this guy. Now, one potential use for this is just for the dust cap. And so the dust cap's very lightweight, and it's not going to break if it drops on the floor anyways. So you could just take this guy, shorten it up, cut the end off, and use it just for holding the dust cap. So that way when you take the dust cap off, it just kind of sits there. I kind of wish the dust cap on the back had the same thing as on the front, so you could just flip it off and let it hang. Or you could just take both of the dust caps off and just not use them. So the cell phone adapter worked pretty well. I was able to get my cell phone in there. Inside here it says 42.8, which I'm assuming is the size of this guy here, but it holds on quite sturdily there. I had no problems worrying about my cell phone popping out of this thing. And it takes some wiggling. You have to wiggle it back and forth and go up and down and get the input of your cell phone camera directly in the right spot. But once you do that, you can take pictures and videos through this guy. So this guy up here turns easily, makes it easy to focus. I tried this both down like this with eyeglasses. It worked great. I pulled this off, took my eyeglasses off, used that. I had to refocus to my prescription, but it works well just to correct near vision or far vision without your glasses. So the image quality was pretty good in the center. My only complaint is at the edges of the image, where your peripheral vision is, it gets a little bit blurry. So in this picture I took with the camera phone adapter, you can probably see the leaves near the center are nice and sharp, but as you get close to the edge, they kind of get blurry. This doesn't really bother you in normal usage because that's where the peripheral of your vision would be, unless you specifically shift over to look out the edge. So as long as you're moving this guy around and looking through the center of the viewport, the fuzziness around the edges isn't really an issue, but it is a sign, that they're getting really close to the edge of the optics here where the aberrations start showing up. So, there are visible aberrations at the edge of the field of view with this guy. Now, it claims to be waterproof on this bracket here. I don't really believe that. I suspect it'd be fine if you used it in the rain a little bit. I'm not going to dunk it underwater because I really don't believe it's actually waterproof. I could be wrong, but I'm not going to risk it. It also says that it is 12 by 50 and it has a 374 foot wide view at 1,000 meters. Now, I don't know why they have one of these metrics in feet and one of them in meters. When I looked through this, it looked more like a 10x magnification. And if you look at the 50 millimeter X and then the 5 millimeter pupil here, that supports also a 10x magnification. So my suspicion is that this is a 10x magnification, which is pretty close to 12. You really can't tell much of a difference. So if I were claiming anything, I would say this is a 10x magnifier monocular telescope. I'd say I'm going to give this about 4 stars. The accessories that come with it, the tripod, the viewer, are all pretty good. This little wrist thing works well. The only accessory that, kind of fell down was the hand strap, which I don't really use that anyways. The optics in the center are very good. There's a little bit of aberrations on the edge, but at this price point, it's not a big issue. And also, you're really only using that for your peripheral vision if you're using this the way it's intended to be used.